Howdy YouTube. Hey, I'm sitting here in my Capri truck bed camper because we're going to be going on a little camping trip this weekend, and this video is about rendering pork fat into lard. So what I got here is, we're actually filming this section after it's all done, but just a quick intro. This is one of the jars, and I was gonna season up this cast iron skillet. It's already got some on there, but I was gonna season this baby up and get it ready for our camping trip this weekend. And so I'm just gonna rub this on here generously, and then I'll put it on a stove burner to kind of cook it in and dry it. But basically, this stuff is used, or was in the past used, for all kinds of things, and it still can be, and it still should be. And it's been demonized by agencies of this country that we don't agree with very much, but that may be a different topic too. So you can use this thing to cook with, to bake with. You can fry food in this, and it's a much better alternative to oils. Any of the oils. Do away with all that. Beef tallow and pork lard. You can also use it as a lubricant. You can use it to mix up with bird seed to feed the wild birds. You can treat leather products such as boots, gloves with, to make it pliable, to keep it in good shape. Let me think here. What else? Soap, candles. What else? I gotta have help here from my trusty sidekick.
All kinds of stuff.
There's all kinds of and you know what? You're not going to go around smelling like, your boots aren't going to smell like bacon. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing in my opinion. However, you're not going to, this has almost no scent. So you're not going to, it's not going to smell, your gloves aren't going to smell like bacon. Your you know, it's not going to smell. It's just a product you can use to keep the rust away, such as this cast iron. Now that we'll get back on this thing, but this is going to prevent rust, and it also will be for seasoning. And there's nothing better than your homemade pork fat lard. Of course, I got my trusty Yellowstone Dutton Ranch cast iron here. That's pretty cool. Whoa, the door just slammed. The Chief may need to change her pants. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing finished up. To follow here will be the process of me rendering down the lard and putting it in jars. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you here in a minute. Today I am going to render down some pork fat and make some cooking oil, lard, whatever. So the pigs we got back from the butcher, if you don't ask to get all the fat, there's a chance that you may not get it. So there's typically two different kinds of fat. There's this wad of stuff, which is leaf lard or kidney fat. This is the fat that's inside, typically around the kidneys. This is the most pure lard when it's rendered down. And then you also have the back fat, which, if you look real close, sometimes you can see hair follicles on this, and you can see how it's kind of folded up inside here. So this is the back fat. This is going to be a little bit less pure. It's just going to have more of a pork flavor. So depending on what you're cooking, that might be good. And then the leaf lard is going to be like, should be very, very clear when it's rendering down, and in white when it after it cools and hardens a little bit. It should be a white, and this should have almost no flavor. This is all what I've been told anyway. So we are going to cut this stuff down into chunks. Cutting it down just makes it cook faster, or render down faster. It's probably not mandatory, but it's going to cook way faster. And you could also run this through a meat grinder, and I have a meat grinder, a really nice one actually, but it is a pain in the butt to clean up. So I'm trying to make this as painless as possible. And you could put this in a big pot on the stove to cook down, or you could do it in a crock pot. I'm doing mine in a roaster, so this I think probably would be considered like a turkey roaster. I think it gets a little, or it has the ability to be warmer than a crock pot. And I think this will work really well. So these are about 1 inch-ish squares. Probably don't have to be that small, but and I've got a bunch of back fat as well, but like I said, since it's less pure, I guess is the proper word, than this leaf lard, I'm going to do it separately. So I'm going to do this leaf lard, and then I'll do the back fat. That way they'll be canned or jarred in the jars separately. We have kid number 3 home from college this weekend, so that's nice. This is, I think, her first time, hasn't it? Her first time since she's been up there, so a couple months. And so nice to see her. I'm sure she'll be helping a lot around the farm this weekend. Nah, she's got a lot going on. This stuff also makes great moisturizer. So, if there is any actual meat on any of this, depends on how clean either you or your butcher does this. There might be some meat stuck to it. This is all really clean. I mean, my butcher is awesome though. So, Country Home Meats in Edmond, Oklahoma. They're the best. And so anyway, I'm just gonna get all this chopped up and maybe I'll just leave the footage rolling and have Chief fast forward it when she does her editing. Why don't we do that? All right, y'all, it's been 1 hour at 200 degrees in the roaster. Let's take a look at what that pork fat's looking like. First, let's take a look at these dirty old mutts. There's Molly. She got a bath, so she's tied up here so she can dry. These two pups just love. All right, Chief. Oh my goodness, Mags. Yeah, so the shop shower is somewhat of a dog wash too. So, all right. We will do a video on that maybe sometime. All right, here you go. Oh yeah. See that? We're already cooking down pretty good. I'm wondering if we shouldn't check it every 30 or so minutes. But you can see how that stuff's getting real gelatiny. So why don't we start checking it every 30 minutes? Just so it doesn't burn. So we got one piece there that's getting brown, a couple pieces that are getting brown. They're not burnt. It smells super good actually. But let's check it every 30 minutes instead. Put that back on. I may turn it down just a hair, 190 or so. All right, so I'm gonna get back out in the garden instead of just sitting here watching fat render. I'm using my time in between stirrings to pull weeds in the garden. I'm pulling some plants out because they're not gonna rebound fast enough before we get a freeze this fall. And so some stuff's got to go, some stuff's gonna stay. And we'll see you in another 45 minutes or so. All right, so we had to run to the store quick because I'm gonna need cheesecloth to strain this when I put it into the jars, and I did not have anything like that. So They were actually out and I didn't want to go to a different store. So I got, it's like some kind of jam and jelly strainer. Oh, sorry about that. Extreme close up there. I got, I'll have to dig through here and find it. But anyway, let's take a look at this fat rendering down here. I think we're probably going to be looking pretty good. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes or so. Let me turn you around. Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah, that came a long way. I'll tell you what. Whew, steamed you up, sorry. All right. Yeah, we are looking good here. Okay, I am filming this by myself and having a hard time figuring out how to hold this and do all this without someone helping me. So, I've got my jar, I've got a funnel, canning funnel, and this is, instead of cheesecloth, I'm using a jelly strainer bag because that's all they had at the store. It was that time of year, I guess. So anyway, I got this here. Now this fat is not all ready to go yet, but I'm going to strain some of this out of here to get kind of the purest, clearest stuff that I can in one jar. So oh yeah. And there's a lot of gunk in there. So that's why you strain it. Just little chunks of fat and even some gristle here when you get down to the very end, some of the gristle. I'm doing this out in the shop so I can kind of come in and out checking on it when I need to and not have to go in the house. I usually get pretty nasty and dirty and sweaty and whatever outside, and so I like to do this kind of stuff where I'm just going back and forth checking on things. I like to do it out here, and also it doesn't heat up the house. It's still, we had some cooler weather. Of course, now we're back into the blazing hot. So that's just the way it is. False fall, I guess, is what we had. They call it sometimes. So I've got some hot water and a little bit of vinegar to sterilize these lids and jars over here in the sink. And there you go. So that should cool to a fairly white color. Set that over there. I've been outside in the garden doing some much needed maintenance out there, pulling weeds. I'm going in the morning to pick up some new animals for the farm. I've got a couple feeder pigs that I've located, and in 9 months or so, eight months, 9 months, depending on how, maybe less, we'll be doing this all over again. So I think kid number 4, Maddox, and I are going to make a short little trip. Pick those up in the morning, and of course we'll do a video about all that. So we've got a lot left in here, not rendered down stuff. So we're going to let this keep on rocking and rolling here. And this is jar number 2. Set him over here to dry, to cool. This, I think we'll just leave that sitting there. We're going to need that yet, so I think I'll just cover it and keep the flies off of it. And kind of show you where we're at with this. So we took out 2 jars worth, and we're going to let this keep cooking down. Now, as you do this next batch that we put in jars may be a little more tan color. Kind of do it in stages, so the most pure or clean or whatever you want to call it, lard is in separate jars, and then you have some that are a little less clean, that maybe a little more brown or a little more tan, and then you have some that are even more dark. And from what I understand, you want to use the darker stuff first, and that more clean stuff will keep longer in the fridge. So I'm not really for sure. I think you can leave these out just in a room temperature in your cabinet or pantry, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to have that much, so I'm just going to keep it in the fridge. And anyway, we'll be back here in an hour or so and check this out. Howdy, folks. All right, so it's the next day. I rendered down all of the leaf lard, and today I actually put the back fat in the roaster. It seems like this has taken a lot longer. Some of it I actually skinned off of the skin, or cut it off the skin. The stuff that's on the skin still is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to maybe see if it's softened enough to scrape it off, make it a little easier. Maybe it'll come off easier. I hope it will. Anyway, or maybe it'll just be okay how it is. Maybe take a little longer. I'm not sure. But anyway, I did want to show you the yesterday's bounty that we made here. This is all from the leaf fat or kitty fat. So I've got almost 4 jars. Turn you around here. And I waited to film this because I wanted you to see after it kind of hardened up it's not liquid now, it's hardened up. But I had it in the fridge. I just took it out, so there's a little bit of condensation on there. But other than that, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? It's like snow white, just awesome. Almost 4 jars. So we will keep working on this back fat and hopefully have more to add to this. And we'll have it for cooking for at least for the winter until these next group of pigs are ready to butcher. So that'll be a while, but we'll at least have this for now. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I by no means am an expert in any of this, but just wanted to show you what I'm doing more than try to teach you anything. There's probably numerous ways to do this, and I'm just trying to share my experience and show what I'm doing. So if you have any other suggestions on a better way or a different way, leave them down in the comments. I'd love to read it and hear how you're doing things on your homestead. So anyways, I'm going to get off here and get back to work. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see you on the next video.